Alright, hey guys, as you're moving into Unit 3, I wanted to go over the modifications and clarify a few things for you on your research project. So these are your lesson modifications for Unit 3. I wanted to remind you of your C notes, first of all, so remember those are always in that first box. You want to click that, and this is what your C notes look like for this unit. You've got 5 things to take C notes over, so those are there. Excuse me. You'll notice that I've added in lots of videos in this unit. Okay, so lots of things. There's a video on crazy research topics, on research questions, things like that. So just be aware that those are there. They're there to help you. They're not a requirement. They're just extra. Helps explain things. So if you're having trouble with something, you might look and see if there's a video posted for it as well. So a little bit of a clarification. And that's right here. For the purposes of this assignment, you can select anything you're interested in to research. So you can research anything for this project. Do something that you're interested in. The caveat is that you have to narrow down your topic so that you can sufficiently handle it in 2 to 3 pages, which is the length requirement for this assignment. You also have to be able to take some kind of stance. So you're not just thinking about a new law or a theory. You've got to actually take a position or a stance. I believe that this theory will produce X, Y, and Z in the next 2 years or something like that. Okay, so you've got to take that position. I've added a requirement that you submit via webmail your research question and an explanation of kind of what you're thinking about that research question for approval. That's going to help me help you narrow that down, which is going to be really important. 2 to 3 pages may seem like a lot, but it's really not very much at all when you're dealing with research, okay? So you want something that's very narrow, because I'm going to look at the depth of your research. You can't get very deep if you're doing a very broad topic. All right, everything here, lessons 2, 3, 4, 5, they're all the same as in Connexus. I've made no changes. The only thing I have done is added lots of videos for you to watch. So, you know, those are there in length, videos on thesis statements, introductions, stuff like that, conclusions. All right, so in lesson 6, this is where you actually draft your research paper. There are several things that you need to know whenever you draft. Okay, I'm expecting a full, complete paper. If you give me something that's not complete, I'm not going to be able to give you much feedback on it, which means that your final is a gamble. Okay, but if you give me that full, complete research paper, you're going to get full credit, so long as you meet the qualifications, and then I'll be able to give you all the comments and feedback that you need in order to get a good grade on your final. I've put down a couple of really important sites. This is a tutorial video on paper formatting for MLA. This is what your paper should look like. What the margins requirements are, the spacing, all that kind of stuff. That's in that video, so take a look at that. This link is to the Purdue MLA website, so it goes through how to cite different things, so you can go and look at that. I'm fine with you using sites like BibMe that automatically do citations for you if you put in the information. However, you are ultimately responsible for the accuracy of your citations. So here's the deal. Those sites are only as good as the information put into them, and they don't make any exceptions. So what happens probably 6 or 7 times out of 10 is that a citation doesn't fit a neat mold. In that case, you're responsible for adapting it correctly. And if you need help on anything, see me. But just realize if you use those sites, I'm okay with it, but you have to proof them. You have to make sure they're correct. Most of the time, you'll need to change something. Okay, so here, one big warning for your research paper, and I really want to make sure you understand this. This is a research paper. The point of it is to show your skills in researching and documentation. That means the following, okay? You have to form your own ideas and opinions and use your research to support that. So you can't just give me a whole paper that's copy and pasted and you put a citation. That doesn't work, okay? I should see probably 70% of the paper being your words, 60 to 70%. And the rest of it then would be support for your thoughts and ideas that you found in your research. All right. You have to give credit. I will not accept anything that is plagiarized, even accidentally. This is about learning to cite things appropriately. So that is what I'm grading you on. All right, so you want to be really careful about that. I'm here to answer your questions, okay? It's not just you're on your own, figure it out. I'm available. I will help you. But don't turn in a paper without a works cited page, and don't turn in a paper that you've passed off work as your own. You've accidentally picked up the source's words. That happens, right? You've been reading a source and you accidentally type the same words. You've got to be careful about that. All right, so that's your warning. The rest is the same. Then you get down to your publishing and your final draft here. And there are several requirements that are clarified here, so you'll definitely want to look at those. So it talks to you about paper length, number of sources. Your sources have to be both credible and reliable, and I'm going to check that. Whenever you turn in your draft, I've got to see those 5 sources. Your sources have to be in your works cited page and used in your paper. And if you put something on there that's like Wikipedia or about.com, those will not count as credible and reliable sources. So very important that you check that. It's got to have a formatted works cited page. If you don't turn in a works cited page, you have not done a research paper. Okay, so it won't be accepted. No paper will be accepted that includes plagiarism of any kind, even if it's, quote, accidental. All right, that is the purpose of this assignment. And then no paper will be accepted that is comprised only of copied ideas. All right, that's what I was talking about, where you turn in like a whole copied and pasted kind of thing, and you're like, what? It's research. It's your ideas first, and then the research to support it. Okay, the other thing about this assignment is that it is weighted and worth double most other portfolio assignments. Okay, so your final is worth 48 points. Usually a total paper, final and draft in our class is 34 points. 10 points for the draft and 24 for the final. Just the final by itself here is worth 48 points. So 24 of those points, I'm going to grade you based on the quality of your paper using the rubric that's in Connexus on page 5 of that lesson. The other 24 points, however, are going to come from the accuracy of your MLA format in your works cited page, your paper formatting overall, remember I told you about that video that was there, your use of parenthetical, that little thing popping up, citations, your source quality and how you've used those sources. So I've given you a point breakdown there. So that's basically it. Don't forget, after you've turned in your paper, to also send me your C notes for the unit and make sure you've completed at least 1 exit ticket. So that's basically it. Remember guys, research is hard. It's time consuming. You actually have to read stuff. Research is reading. So, don't get stressed out when that happens. It's a slow process. But you've got a couple weeks to get through this. If you have questions at any time, let me know. I am here to help.